The Galactic Empire stretches across 10,000 star systems, ruled by the mighty Draknari race. Their massive warships patrol the void between worlds, keeping lesser species in line. For 300 years, they have conquered planet after planet with ease. Admiral Vex stands on the bridge of his flagship, the Iron Claw, studying reports from his scouts. They have found a new world on the edge of known space, a small blue planet called Earth. The reports show primitive technology, no space travel, and simple weapons that fire metal projectiles. These humans are weak, Vex tells his officers. Their cities are unshielded, their weapons are outdated. They fight among themselves constantly. The Draknari are 7 feet tall with thick scales and powerful claws. They have crushed armies 10 times stronger than what Earth can offer. Captain Rex, Vex's second-in-command, laughs at the human military footage. Tanks that crawl along the ground, aircraft that barely reach the stratosphere, and soldiers who die from simple energy blasts. We need only 50 ships, Rex suggests. Perhaps 20 would be enough, but Vex is thorough. He sends spy probes to study human behavior for months. The probes report back with footage of human conflicts, wars that end in treaties, armies that surrender when outnumbered, leaders who negotiate instead of fighting to the death. The Empire's War Council meets in the Great Chamber on the Capitol. World. General Crix presents the invasion plan to the assembled commanders. Earth has no unified government, no planetary defense grid, and no knowledge that aliens exist. The humans have something they call nuclear weapons, Crix explains. But these are primitive compared to our plasma artillery. Their largest bombs barely scratch the surface of a planet. The Council approves the invasion with unanimous votes. They will take Earth's resources, rare metals, water, and perhaps a few million humans as slaves. The planet's location makes it perfect as a military outpost for future expansion. Commander Zek raises a concern about human unpredictability. Some species fight harder when cornered, he warns. But the data shows humans often surrender to avoid casualties. Their history is full of peaceful surrenders and negotiated defeats. They value individual lives over victory, Crix notes. This makes them weak in war. The fleet assembles at the staging area 120 warships, carrying half 1,000,000 Draknari warriors. Each ship can destroy a human city with a single blast. The warriors carry energy rifles that can melt through human armor like paper dot as the fleet prepares to jump to hyperspace. Admiral Vex reviews the final intelligence. Reports: humans have divided loyalties, fighting for different nations and ideologies. They will likely fight each other even during an alien invasion. The Admiral's aide, a young officer named Doc, mentions an old saying from their homeworld: beware the prey that shows no fear. But Vex dismisses this as superstition. The humans show plenty of fear in their entertainment, and their history books dot the Draknari have conquered the warlike Scorith, who fought with honor but fell within months. They have defeated the technologically advanced Nixari, whose shields and energy weapons proved useless against Draknari numbers. Earth's primitive humans will be the easiest conquest yet. The invasion order goes out across the fleet. Jump coordinates are locked in. The warriors check their weapons and dream of easy victory. Many have already claimed portions of Earth's resources as their reward. Begin hyperspace jump, Admiral Vex commands. A massive fleet disappears in flashes of blue light, heading toward a small world whose inhabitants have no idea what is coming. The Draknari expect to return home within weeks, carrying news of another successful conquest. In the intelligence archives, buried among thousands of reports, lies a single observation that no one thought important. A probe recorded human soldiers, during a battle, surrounded and outnumbered 50-1. Instead of surrendering, they fought until their ammunition ran out, then used knives, then fought with their bare hands until the last one fell. The analyst who reviewed this footage marked it as unusual but irrelevant. He noted that such behavior was rare and would not affect the outcome of a planetary invasion. The probe that recorded this scene was destroyed shortly after by human anti-aircraft fire. Its final transmission showed human civilians evacuating their wounded while under heavy bombardment, carrying injured soldiers to safety, even as buildings collapsed around them. These reports gather dust in the archives as the Draknari fleet crosses the void toward Earth. Admiral Vex sleeps peacefully in his quarters, dreaming of promotion and glory. The Empire has made its plans based on incomplete data. Soon, they will learn the difference between surrender and strategic retreat, between individual weakness and collective strength. The galaxy's greatest predators are about to encounter prey that doesn't know how to stay down. The Draknari fleet drops out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, like wolves entering a sleeping village. Admiral Vex expects panic and chaos when humans detect their arrival. Instead, his sensors show something unexpected. Every human military base on the planet goes to full alert within hours. Ancient communication networks light up with traffic as nations that were enemies yesterday begin coordinating their response. The humans have protocols for this situation, as if they have been preparing for alien invasion their entire history. How do they react so quickly? Captain Rex asks, studying the sensor readings. The first human delegation arrives in a small spacecraft that barely deserves the name. It approaches the flagship without weapons or shields, carrying 3 representatives from different Earth nations. General Thompson leads the group, a gray-haired man with calm eyes who doesn't seem afraid of the massive alien warship. Admiral Vex receives them in his command chamber, surrounded by armed guards to demonstrate Draknari power. But Thompson looks around the room like a tourist, examining interesting architecture, taking notes on alien technology with scientific curiosity. "We know why you're here," Thompson says through a translation device. "You want our resources and our submission. We're prepared to discuss terms." This is exactly what Vex expected. The humans will negotiate their surrender like civilized beings. He presents his demands. Earth will become a Draknari colony. Its people will work in the mines and factories, and resistance will be met with the destruction of major cities. Thompson listens patiently and asks practical questions about the terms. Where will humans be relocated? What rights will they retain? How will the Draknari manage Earth's complex ecosystems? "You seem to misunderstand," Vex interrupts. "These are not negotiations. These are the conditions of your surrender." Thompson nods slowly. "I understand your position, Admiral. Let me clarify ours. We're buying time." Confusion spreads through the Draknari officers. Buying time for what? Thompson explains that every minute they talk is another minute for Earth's people to prepare. He shows them recordings from human cities where millions of civilians are moving into underground shelters built during their Cold War period. "You planned for this?" Captain Rex asks. "We plan for everything," Thompson replies. "Asteroid impacts, nuclear war, alien invasion, zombie apocalypse. Humans are very good at imagining worst-case scenarios." Admiral Vex cuts the meeting short and returns to his fleet. The humans are stalling, but it doesn't matter. His ships can blast through any defense. They construct in a few hours. The invasion begins at dawn over major population centers. Draknari fighters streak through Earth's atmosphere, expecting to see primitive aircraft rise to meet them. Instead, they encounter a coordinated defense network that has been hiding its true capabilities. Surface-to-air missiles rise from concealed positions in numbers that stagger the Draknari pilots. Each missile is guided by quantum computers that predict Draknari flight patterns with deadly accuracy. Human fighters launch from underground hangars, their pilots flying with desperate skill against superior technology. Captain Rex leads the first assault on New York City. He expects to destroy it in minutes and move on to the next target. But the city fights back with weapons that probes never detected. Railguns fire projectiles at incredible velocity from hidden positions. Laser arrays focus sunlight into beams that can cut through Draknari armor. The most shocking discovery comes when human ground forces engage Draknari landing parties. Instead of the disorganized rabble shown in their intelligence reports, the aliens face coordinated military units using tactics that adapt to every Draknari move. Sergeant Blake leads a squad of human Marines against the Draknari patrol in downtown Chicago. His soldiers use the urban environment like a weapon, turning every building into a fortress and every street into a killing ground. When the aliens expect frontal assault, the humans attack from behind. When the Draknari adapt to ambush tactics, human forces switch to direct confrontation. These humans learn too fast, Rex reports to Admiral Vex. They change their methods every hour. The first day of invasion costs the Draknari more ships and soldiers than entire campaigns against other worlds. Human resistance doesn't break under bombardment, it grows stronger. Every destroyed building provides cover for human fighters. Every dead soldier is replaced by 3 more volunteers. By nightfall, Admiral Vex faces an uncomfortable truth. This will not be a quick conquest. The humans are not surrendering, negotiating, or breaking under pressure. They are fighting like cornered animals, except cornered animals don't coordinate global defense networks or adapt their tactics in real time. Commander, Zek's warning echoes in Vex's mind. Beware the prey that shows no fear. The humans are showing plenty of fear, but they're fighting anyway. And that, the Admiral realizes, might be the most dangerous combination in the galaxy. 3 weeks into the invasion, Admiral Vex stares at casualty reports that make no sense. The Draknari have lost 30 ships, thousands of fighters, and 50,000 ground troops. This is more than they lost conquering the entire Nexari system. The humans are not fighting like any species the Draknari have encountered. When their cities are bombed, they rebuild in underground tunnels. When their armies are defeated, new ones appear from nowhere. When their governments fall, local leaders take charge without missing a step. Captain Rex limps into the Admiral's quarters, his left arm in a medical brace. His patrol was ambushed by human resistance fighters in the ruins of Detroit. 12 Draknari warriors against 30 human civilians with improvised weapons should have been a massacre. They used children as spotters, Rex reports with disbelief. Elderly humans as decoys. The fighters themselves were factory workers and teachers who learned military tactics from video games and movies. The humans have turned their entire planet into a fortress. Every citizen is a potential soldier, every building a potential weapon. They manufacture ammunition in hidden factories and grow food in underground farms. Their internet networks, buried in hardened cables, coordinate resistance across continents. General Crix requests reinforcements from the homeworld. The Empire responds by sending another 50 ships and 100,000 fresh troops. Surely overwhelming numbers will break human resistance where superior technology has failed. The second wave arrives to find humans have learned to fight Draknari forces more effectively. Human engineers have reverse-engineered captured alien technology, building weapons that can penetrate Draknari shields. Human hackers have broken Draknari communication codes, feeding false information to alien commanders. Major Davis leads a strike team against a Draknari supply depot in what used to be Denver. His soldiers move through the city's tunnel system, like ghosts appearing where the aliens least expect them. They use Draknari weapons captured from previous battles, turning the invaders' own technology against them. The humans fight without honor, General Crix complains to Admiral Vex. They hide behind civilians, strike from shadows, and use deception instead of facing us directly. But Vex is beginning to understand that humans define honor differently than Draknari. For humans, honor means protecting their world and their people by any means necessary. They don't care about fair fights or warrior codes. They care about winning. The most disturbing reports come from occupied territories. Draknari. Forces thought they had secured major population centers, but human resistance continues underground. Literally, underground humans have excavated vast tunnel networks beneath their cities, creating a second civilization that the aliens cannot reach. Commander Zek discovers this during a patrol in London. His squad finds entrance tunnels hidden in destroyed buildings, leading to underground chambers that house thousands of humans. These subterranean settlements have their own power systems, food production, and manufacturing capabilities. They planned this, Zek realizes. Before we arrived, they were already building survival infrastructure. The humans had studied every alien invasion story in their fiction, every military conflict in their history, and every survival scenario their minds could imagine. They prepared for conquest, not with noble speeches or desperate last stands, but with practical engineering and ruthless efficiency. Dr. Martinez coordinates resistance activities from a bunker, COMPLEX, beneath Mexico City. Her team includes scientists, engineers, and military planners who work around the clock to find Draknari weaknesses. They share discoveries through a global network that the aliens cannot shut down. Pattern recognition, she explains to her staff. The aliens use the same tactics they've used to conquer other worlds. But every world they conquered gave up eventually. We're not going to give up. Admiral Vex calls another war council. His officers report increasing human effectiveness in every theater. Human pilots are downing Draknari fighters at an alarming rate. Human ground forces have recaptured several cities through coordinated assaults. Human saboteurs have destroyed 3 major Draknari installations. Request immediate reinforcements, General Crick suggests. Triple our current forces. But Captain Rex shakes his head. More troops won't solve this. The humans don't fight like other species. They adapt faster than we can change tactics. They learn from every engagement. The truth settles over the command chamber like toxic gas. The Draknari have encountered something their empire has never faced before, a species that treats war not as a contest of strength or courage, but as a problem to be solved. Humans approach warfare like they approach every challenge with creativity, cooperation, and an absolute refusal to accept defeat. They don't fight to die gloriously. They fight to live, learn, and fight better tomorrow. Admiral Vex studies reports of human resistance activities spreading to other star systems. Somehow, humans have made contact with enslaved populations on Draknari-controlled worlds, sharing their tactics and technology through hidden networks. The prey has become the predator, and the galaxy's greatest empire is learning to fear a species they dismissed as primitive. 6 months after the invasion began, Admiral Vex receives intelligence. That changes everything. Human ships' actual spacecraft, capable of interstellar travel, have been detected in 3 different star systems. Impossible constructions built from reverse-engineered Draknari technology and human ingenuity. The first ships appear near Draknari mining colonies on the edge of Empire space. These vessels look like flying scrapyards, welded together from salvaged materials and powered by improvised engines. But they work, and they're armed with weapons that can hurt Draknari forces. Captain Stone commands the human vessel Defiance, built in secret facilities beneath the Australian desert. Her crew includes former airline pilots, submarine officers, and space program engineers who learned spacecraft operation from captured Draknari manuals and desperate experimentation. We're not trying to match their technology, Stone explains to her bridge crew as they approach a Draknari outpost. We're using their technology against them in ways they never imagined. The Defiance doesn't fight like a Draknari warship. It uses asteroid fields for cover, employs suicide drones made from modified satellites, and carries boarding parties equipped with improvised vacuum suits and cutting torches. When Draknari forces expect conventional space combat, humans deliver chaos. On Earth, the underground war continues with increasing sophistication. Human resistance cells have evolved into a shadow military that controls large portions of the planet's surface during night hours. They emerge from tunnel systems to strike Draknari positions, then disappear before reinforcements arrive. Colonel Park leads the sole resistance from a command center built in subway tunnels. Her forces have recaptured most of South Korea through a combination of guerrilla warfare and popular uprising. Draknari garrison troops find themselves besieged in their own fortifications, surrounded by a hostile population that treats every alien soldier as a target. The humans multiply like bacteria, General Crix reports to Admiral Vex. We destroy 10 resistance cells and 20 more appear. We occupy their cities and they fight from the sewers. We control the surface and they control everything beneath. The human strategy becomes clear as months pass. They are not trying to defeat the Draknari through superior firepower or tactical brilliance. They are wearing down the invaders through attrition, making the occupation so costly that the Empire cannot sustain it. Professor Chan broadcasts from a hidden facility in the Himalayas, coordinating global resistance through encrypted signals. Her network includes cells on every continent, each one sharing information and resources with others. When Draknari forces adapt to one type of attack, human cells across the planet switch to different methods simultaneously. Distributed decision-making. She explains to resistance leaders during a global conference call. No central command to capture, no single point of failure. We're not an army. We're an immune system. The most devastating blow comes when humans capture a Draknari communications relay and use it to contact enslaved populations throughout the Empire. They share detailed instructions for resistance activities, weapons construction, and organizational methods. Within months, rebellions break out on dozens of worlds. Admiral Vex realizes that humans have turned his own invasion into a weapon against the Empire. Every Draknari soldier tied down on Earth is a soldier not available to suppress rebellions. Elsewhere, every ship destroyed by human forces is a ship that cannot patrol other systems. The Empire's response is predictable, massive retaliation against human population centers. Orbital bombardment that turns entire cities into glass. But humans have prepared for this too, moving their essential populations and infrastructure underground, while maintaining surface decoys that waste. Draknari ammunition. Commander Zek leads the assault on the ruins of Tokyo, expecting to find a dead city. Instead, he discovers that humans have built a new Tokyo beneath the old one, complete with factories, schools, and research facilities. The surface destruction accomplished nothing except providing more raw materials for human construction. Projects. They're using our attacks as a mining operation, Zek reports with growing concern. Every bomb crater becomes a foundation for new fortifications. The turning point comes when human ships begin appearing in the Sol system itself, launching coordinated strikes against Draknari positions from space. These vessels carry weapons that no one expected, kinetic bombardment systems that drop asteroids on alien installations with pinpoint accuracy. Admiral Vex watches his flagship sensors as human vessels emerge from the asteroid belt like vengeful spirits. The Defiance, the Retribution, the Never Again, dozens of improvised warships crewed by humans who learned space warfare through trial and error. All ships engage the human fleet, Vex orders, but his confidence is shaken. These humans don't fight like desperate survivors anymore. They fight like predators who have learned to hunt in space, not the battle for Earth's orbital space begins with humans using the one advantage they've always possessed: the willingness to take risks that no sane military commander would consider. *1. Year after the invasion began, Admiral Vex stands in the ruins of his command center, watching human forces reclaim the last Draknari stronghold on Earth. His mighty fleet has been reduced to a handful of damaged ships, his army scattered across a dozen star systems, fighting rebellions that multiply faster than they can be suppressed. Humans never won a single major battle in the traditional sense. They lost every direct confrontation, retreated from every assault, and surrendered territory whenever the Draknari applied overwhelming force. But somehow, impossibly, they are winning the war. Captain Stone addresses the Draknari survivors from the bridge of her flagship, now a sleek vessel built with hybrid human-alien technology. Her message is broadcast across the Empire's communication networks, reaching enslaved populations on hundreds of worlds. "This is how you fight an empire," she says simply. "Not with bigger guns or stronger armies, but with the refusal to stay. Defeated, every time you fall down, you get up smarter than before." The humans have transformed the nature of interstellar warfare. Where other species fought for territory or resources, humans fought for time to learn, adapt, and evolve their resistance into something the Draknari could not counter. Professor Chun has become the unofficial architect of Galactic Rebellion. Her resistance manual, distributed through captured Draknari networks, provides detailed instructions for insurgency operations adapted to different alien species and planetary environments. Worlds that have been enslaved for centuries are suddenly rising against their occupiers. The Empire's strength was always its uniformity, she explains in her final broadcast. Same tactics, same technology, same assumptions about how conquered populations should behave. But uniformity becomes weakness when you encounter diversity. The Draknari Empire discovers that human influence spreads like a virus through their controlled territories. Not through military conquest, but through the simple idea that occupation can be made so costly that occupiers choose to leave voluntarily. General Thompson, now wearing a mixture of human and captured alien equipment, leads the final assault on Admiral Vex's position. His forces include not only human soldiers, but volunteers from 6 different species who learned resistance techniques from human instructors. "You should have studied our history more carefully," Thompson tells the captured admiral. "We've been fighting impossible wars against superior enemies for thousands of years. Rome, Napoleon, Hitler, corporate oligarchies, authoritarian governments, they all seemed invincible until they weren't. The humans offer terms to the surviving Draknari forces: immediate withdrawal from Earth and all contested systems, recognition of independence for rebellious worlds, and establishment of defensive agreements between Earth and former Draknari territories. Admiral Vex expects to be executed or enslaved, but humans treat their prisoners according to their own moral codes. Captured Draknari receive medical care, adequate food, and the opportunity to return home if they agree to peace terms. Why spare us? Vex asks General Thompson during surrender negotiations. "We came to conquer your world." Thompson considers the question seriously. "Because that's what makes us different from you. We fight to protect what we love, not to destroy what we fear." The galactic balance of power shifts as news of Earth's victory spreads throughout known space. Species that have served the Draknari Empire for generations suddenly realize that resistance is possible. The humans didn't defeat the Empire through superior technology or military genius. They defeated it through sheer stubborn refusal to accept defeat. Captain Rex, now a prisoner aboard the human vessel Liberation, studies reports of rebellions spreading across former Empire territories. Every world that rises against Draknari rule uses tactics learned from human resistance cells, adapted to local conditions and species capabilities. They weaponized hope, Rex realizes. We conquered bodies and territories, but they conquered minds and spirits. The final irony becomes clear as the Draknari fleet prepares to leave Earth's solar system. Human ships escort them to the edge of human space, not as conquerors, but as protectors ensuring safe passage. The species that was supposed to be enslaved has become the guardian of their former enemies. Dr. Martinez coordinates the establishment of the Terran Defense Alliance, a coalition of worlds committed to mutual protection against future invasions. The Alliance's charter includes provisions for sharing defensive technology, coordinating resistance training, and providing sanctuary for refugees from authoritarian regimes. This is our real victory, she explains to the Alliance Council. Not defeating one empire, but creating something that makes empires impossible. Admiral Vex returns to the Draknari homeworld carrying news that will reshape his entire civilization. The empire that once controlled 10,000 worlds now faces rebellions on half of them, coordinated by species that have learned the human approach to asymmetric warfare. The galaxy has learned what the Draknari discovered too late, that Earth's greatest strength was never its weapons or its armies, but its absolute refusal to accept that any fight is truly hopeless. And that strength, once awakened, never fades. In the end, humans didn't conquer the galaxy. They taught it to conquer itself. Asterisk.